SWAD stands for Sex with a Difference, and the difference bit relates to not just disability, but it also relates to the wide sort of rainbow of sexualities and gender identities that there are. And also different types of sex. So some people watching this may be familiar with the term vanilla, which means sort of a straightforward sort of conservative type attitude. So vanilla sex would typically be a man and a woman in a missionary position. That's the sort of idea of it. And if people are outside of that particular concept, it can be very hard to get advice and support. So we're very clear that, you know, if somebody's into swinging, if they're into BDSM, bondage type stuff, you know, gay sex, any sort of sex really, it's all, we can talk about it. We will not be judging anybody on what their particular sort of kink is. Obviously we want to be treated with respect, so you know, I'm not here to be phoned up and heavy breathing and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I would much prefer that somebody asks the question if they've had a question. Like there was one at one of the organizations that I liaised with in the beginning of all of this. They'd had a phone call to their support desk, that it happened to be a gay man who was exploring whether or not he was into bondage, and he just couldn't find any advice anywhere that related to him in his particular situation, with his particular access needs. And so yeah, that was a phone call that I got, because it was like, okay, Lorraine does this sex stuff, she might know, because the people on the help desk, possibly understandably, didn't have that information. And I feel so strongly that sex and sexual expression is an activity of daily living, you know, and people, we are thankfully and hopefully on the way out of this pandemic at the moment. But the able-bodied community have just had a really big, long taste of what it is like for a significant proportion of disabled people, where you desperately want to hug people and you're not allowed to. It's not possible. And, you know, I've been ill. I became ill, I caught the bug in 2004. I'm incredibly lucky that, you know, I've managed to find somebody. Mike and I found each other. Mike's my partner, and in a jacuzzi, by the way, but that's a whole other interview. And you know, touch is so important, cuddling is so important. You know, when we talk about sex and intimacy, it's not all about shagging, putting it bluntly. It's being affectionate, it's that closeness, it's the skin hunger being you know, reduced. And everybody has got the right to sexual expression. It's actually one of the UN's part of their charter of human rights, and it's really, really important. And so I just, you know, put a little plea out there for the people that are able to get back out and socialize and do all of these things, is, you know, keep your hybrid opportunities open, because there's an army of disabled people that, you know, we would like to not be forgotten about again. I'm mostly housebound, sometimes bedbound. I can't sit up for any length of time, which is why I'm coming to you from my office bed. And it can be quite challenging maintaining social relationships, never mind sort of sexual or romantic relationships. It can be a real challenge. But there are ways and means, because I've proven that, and there are people with far more sort of complex health needs than myself who have proven that. But, you know, people need advice and support, and it should be there for them.